Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are, it is right now. You are right here. My name is Manuel, and it's my pleasure to welcome you. Today is day 26 of the show, and I have to congratulate you for making the best decision of the day to spend some time with me. Let's get started. Today, I'd like to go ahead and talk about the up-and-coming rising star socialist mayor of New York City, Zohran Mamdani, the man who's always smiling, even though I don't think there's much to smile about in New York City these days. Specifically, what I would like to address is the $12 billion budget deficit that he has been talking about basically since becoming mayor, and which he, of course, naturally is blaming on his predecessor, Eric Adams. He could say, rightly to a certain degree, look, I wasn't mayor. This isn't on me. But the problem becomes, we know that what blew up the budget of New York was years and years of sanctuary city policies, which ended up seeing illegal immigrants being given $700 a night hotel rooms in some of the most swanky hotels in New York City. And then on top of that, given other benefits, debit cards, naturally, health care, and understandably, of course, food, assistance for them, their children, and, of course, education for their children. This absolutely blew up the budget for New York City. Admittedly, yes, Eric Adams was mayor at the time. Okay, fine, I will not dispute that. But Zohran Mamdani, in his capacity as a representative there in the New York City area, in all those years, did he ever object to this? No. Did he ever warn about what was going to happen? No. Zohran Mamdani, like all these far-left Democrats, who, in his case, is actually admittedly a socialist, although I think it's fair to say really he's more like a communist. They are all in on the sanctuary cities policies and let the chips fall where they may. And unfortunately, the chips are now falling all over New York City because Mayor Mamdani has announced that unless the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, comes through and raises taxes on the rich and on corporations, New York City is not going to be able to fill that gap in the budget deficit. And he has then, in an attempt, I guess you could say, extort, has said, if the governor doesn't come through, he's going to be forced, I say, to raise property tax on every New Yorker by to a rate of nearly 10%. Every New Yorker. Wow, that really escalated quickly. So, again, here's a man who's trying to say, this is not my fault. You're forcing my hand. But it is very much his fault, because the lesson here is understand that he campaigned on what I'd like to refer to as an if-then platform. Because what it was is that he made huge promises. But if you really paid attention, what he was saying is, if the state government does what I want them to do, then I will deliver on all these massive promises I've made all of you. If then. But this is a poor strategy in anything in life, not just politics. Because making plans and making big promises that are dependent upon what is out of your control is at best irresponsible. But in my opinion, it's actually almost like a form of lying, really, because, again, he knew that he could not do this unless certain things happened first, things that he could not control. And to his credit, he did say it, but nobody was hearing that because they were too busy hearing about free buses that were going to be faster, free and faster. They were too busy hearing about the rich getting gobsmacked. They were too busy hearing about this great socialist paradise that he was going to deliver. But he did tell them, if then. And unfortunately for him and for the residents of New York City, Governor Kathy Hochul is not interested in fulfilling his if so that he can then do what he promised. As she herself has stated, she has no interest in raising taxes. Whatever else we might think about her, she does seem to understand that New York has been losing population, has been losing capital to other states, and she has no desire to raise taxes and drive more people and businesses from New York. And so now Mayor Mamdani finds himself trying to extort the governor by holding the citizens of New York City hostage as he hangs the looming almost 10% property tax above their heads. But remember, it's not his fault. After all, he's only the guy who promised that he would do these things if the governor would do what he wants. And then he would do what he said he would do. Anyway, that's enough for today. We'll continue tomorrow. And as always, be useful.